The imposing mansion stood proudly in the most luxurious neighborhood of the city, a symbol of Claudia's undeniable success. From the height of its expansive windows, she gazed over her property with a certain pride, remembering the countless sleepless nights and sacrifices that had led her to this moment. Wealthy, influential, and respected, she was the portrait of an accomplished woman. By her side stood Andrew, her husband, who appeared to share in her satisfaction, though his eyes carried a subtle hint of restlessness that she failed to notice. "Is this what they call paradise on earth, Claudia?" Andrew asked, softly, his voice betraying no emotion. She smiled, reaching to hold his hand, her tone warm but measured. "Yes, Andrew, this is everything I've ever dreamed of, and it's only the beginning for us." Claudia had built her empire with blood, sweat, and determination. The exhausting dedication to work had been her life's rhythm, a force that propelled her forward even in the face of challenges. Andrew admired this about her in a way, her insatiable drive and discipline. "Tonight, let's go out for dinner," she said, with a rare lightness in her tone. "I've reserved that restaurant. You love, you deserve it." Andrew, he smiled, nodding his agreement, but there was something fleeting in the gesture, an absence of true joy. As Claudia turned to adjust her earrings in the mirror, Andrew glanced at his reflection, quickly hiding the flicker of disdain in his eyes. Claudia, preoccupied with her appearance and her plans for the evening, missed the change in his expression. Claudia's world revolved around her business deals, contracts, and major decisions consumed her days. She believed Andrew to be the ideal partner, someone to share her life and ambitions, but Andrew was a man of his own desires. Younger, charming, and restless, he had married Claudia not only for her brilliance, but for the life of comfort and privilege she provided. Later that evening, Claudia received a call she couldn't ignore. Leaving Andrew alone in the dining room, he watched her retreat with irritation before pulling out his phone. His fingers moved deftly across the screen as he sent a quick message. "It's clear, meet me now." He tucked the phone away and finished his drink, his face calm, even charming. As Claudia returned, for Claudia it was just another one of Andrew's solo outings, the nights where he claimed to be meeting an old friend or going for a quiet drink alone. She trusted him, preoccupied as she was with her empire, too consumed by her responsibilities to notice the patterns in his behavior. "Enjoy your evening, Andrew," she said, planting a kiss on his cheek before returning to her work. Andrew smiled, stepping out into the night with a purpose. He drove quickly to a dimly lit parking lot just beyond the neighborhood. Waiting for him, there was Victor, Claudia's much younger business associate. "Everything's ready?" Andrew asked, his voice low but urgent. Victor nodded, his arms crossed as he leaned against his car. "Sheck be taking the car tomorrow morning for her meeting. It's all set. No one will suspect a thing." Andrew's lips curled into a small smile. "Good, this is our chance. Once she's out of the way, everything she's built will be mine." "Ours." Victor's eyes gleamed with anticipation for both men. The plan was not just about eliminating Claudia, but about seizing the empire she had built. Claudia trusted Victor implicitly, relying on him for key decisions in her business. It was that trust that had given him the access he needed to tamper with the brakes of her car, ensuring that the coming accident would appear as a tragic misfortune. "What about after?" Victor asked, his tone cautious. "Keep it simple. Grieve, of course, but I'll take over immediately with her gone. Everything transfers to me unbeknownst to the two conspirators." A street girl named Mia was huddled near the edge of the parking lot, seeking shelter from the cold. She had seen Andrew's car pull in and was curious enough to creep closer, staying hidden in the shadows as the two men's conversation unfolded. Mia pieced together the plot. She realized that the woman they were targeting must be Claudia, a name she had heard before, spoken in awe by passes by. Mia's mind raced as she tried to decide what to do. She had no family, no home, and no ties. Most people ignored her, and she had learned to survive by staying invisible. Yet she couldn't shake the feeling that she had to do something. The weight of what she'd overheard pressed on her chest. After Andrew and Victor left, Mia slipped away, determined to find Claudia. The next morning, as Claudia prepared to leave for her meeting, Mia positioned herself outside the gates of the mansion. She had spent the night pacing and rehearsing her words, unsure of how to approach someone so far removed from her world. When she saw the sleek car pulling out of the driveway, she ran toward it, waving her arms frantically. Claudia stopped abruptly, rolling down her window with a mix of irritation and curiosity. "What are you doing here?" she demanded. "I need to talk to you. It's about your safety," Mia blurted, her voice trembling but urgent. Claudia's brow furrowed as she scrutinized the girl. "You have 1 minute. Speak." Mia took a deep breath. "I overheard a conversation last night. Your husband and someone named Victor, they're planning something. They've tampered with your car. They want it to look like an accident so they can take everything from you." Claudia stared at her, disbelief written on her face. "That's ridiculous. My husband would never." "Please," Mia interrupted, her voice breaking. "I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling the truth. Just check the brakes before you leave. If I'm wrong, fine, but if I'm right." Something in the girl's desperation made Claudia pause. Against her better judgment, she called for her mechanic to inspect the car. Within minutes, her worst fears were confirmed. The brakes had been tampered with. Claudia felt a chill run down her spine as the realization settled in. The man she had trusted most was plotting against her. Turning to Mia, Claudia said, "Get in the car. We need to talk." Mia hesitated before climbing into the passenger seat. Claudia drove to a secluded location where they could speak freely. As Mia recounted everything she had overheard, Claudia's mind raced. The betrayal cut deeply, but it also ignited a fierce resolve within her. "You've done something incredibly brave," Claudia said. "Finally, now I need your help." The two devised a plan, one that would not only expose Andrew and Victor, but also ensure they paid for their betrayal. Claudia began by contacting her lawyer, revising her will to prevent Andrew from inheriting anything in the event of her death under suspicious circumstances. She also arranged for a staged accident to make it appear as though Andrew's plan had succeeded. The next morning, news of Claudia's tragic accident spread quickly. Andrew played the role of the grieving widower, with a plum receiving condolences with a carefully crafted expression of sorrow. Victor stayed in the background, confident that they had succeeded. Mia, meanwhile, worked quietly with Claudia, who was safe in a secure location. Together they monitored Andrew and Victor's movements, gathering evidence of their conspiracy. It wasn't long before the two men began to make plans to take control of Claudia's assets. At the reading of the will, Andrew and Victor's expectations were shattered when the lawyer revealed the clause preventing them from inheriting anything before they could react. Claudia entered the room alive and well. The shock on their faces was evident. "Surprised to see me?" Claudia asked her, voice calm but filled with icy resolve. Andrew stammered, searching for words, while Victor remained silent, his face pale. Claudia laid out everything she knew, her words cutting through their weak denials. By the time the police arrived to arrest them, the two men were resigned to their fate. As the dust settled, Claudia turned her attention to Mia. "You saved my life," she said, her voice soft but filled with conviction. "I won't forget what you've done." Claudia offered Mia a place in her home, a chance to rebuild her life over time. The two formed a bond built on trust and mutual respect. Claudia taught Mia the skills she would need to navigate the world, while Mia reminded Claudia of the importance of loyalty and courage. Together they began a new chapter, their lives forever changed by the events that had brought them together. For Claudia, it was a chance to rebuild not just her empire, but her faith in others. For Mia, it was an opportunity to find a home, and a future one she never thought possible.